Okay, we're just going to go through saber and conocer notes. So you've got the notes on slides, and then there's a link to an ed puzzle, which, as you listen to it, will help you fill in the notes that you have in front of you. But we're just going to go through this slideshow, just in case you want some more clarification. So we've got saber and conocer, both mean to know. So, saber and conocer, they both mean to know in English. If you think back to Sarah and a start, they both mean to be, but remember they've got different uses, different reasons, and different scenarios in which we use them. That's the same concept we have here. We've got saber and conocer. They both mean to know, but they both have different uses. And they are both irregular in the present tense yo form, which we'll go through here in 1 second. So, you have this chart on your notes. You're going to write it in for me. We've got se, sabes, sabe, sabemos, sabéis, y saben. So our only really irregular one here is where it says se, because without it, it would be sabo, but they've changed it. It's an irregular one, so we say se. So, our uses for saber. Saber is the verb that we use to talk about if we know facts and information. Facts and information. You may need to use an additional word, que, which means that, to connect your ideas. So, we've got an example. Yo sé tu número de teléfono. I know your phone number. And then we've got ellos saben. Here we've got the que. Ellos saben que tenemos un examen mañana. So, we know que means that. Que means that. So saying they know that we have an exam tomorrow. Saber is also the verb we use to know if we know how to do something. So in that case, we just conjugate the verb. But if we're saying we know how to do something, we do not conjugate the verb that follows saber. Examples. Yo sé bailar bien. I know how to dance well. Ella no sabe hablar español. She does not know how to speak Spanish. So we've got our verbs for facts and information, and our verb saber we use it for how to do something. So let me come to conocer. So we're going to go through our conjugations. You have this chart on your notes as well. So we've got conozco, conoces, conoce, conocemos, conocéis, y conocen. So those are our conjugations for our verb conocer. Notice that it is only irregular in the yo form. It goes from a C to a ZC. Because we want to protect the sound that it makes. So, conocer is the verb that we use if we're talking about, here, let me present this real quick. There we go. We're going to talk about knowing people or pets or places. So people, pets, that's one, and places is another. So you need to use the word a between the form of conocer and the person. So this a doesn't really translate to have like an English meaning. It's known in Spanish as the personal a. So we've got some examples here. Yo conozco a tu hermana. I know or I'm familiar with your sister. Nosotros conocemos a los jugadores. We know or we're familiar with who like the players are. So we've got our personal a if we're talking about people. Conocer can also be used to talk about places that we are familiar with. So we've got people or pets, places. So yo conozco la ciudad de Minneapolis bien. I know the city of Minneapolis pretty well. I'm familiar with it. Ellos conocen toda Europa. They know all of Europe. They're familiar with all of Europe. So we can use conocer to talk about people, places, peoples and pets and places, or we can talk about places that we're familiar with. So let's go through some quick examples. So if you saw the sentence, you're trying to think of how you would say it in Spanish, English, it says, I know you. So you need to decide, is it saber or conocer? Take a second. I know you. It would be conocer because we're talking about being familiar with a person. That way, if we wanted to say, I know your name, would we use saber or conocer? Think about it. Is it being familiar with the person or place, or is it knowing specific information? So it'll be saber because we're talking about specific information. What about I know your family? Think about it.